All right. Good morning. Oh, that's really bad lighting in here. Wow. That's the snow. That's the outside. That's all the white coming in from the window. Good morning. Welcome all to Coffee and Craps with Johnny over here at Casino Gaming TV. A lot of things going on here today. So we just had an interesting session up there. I say interesting. I got whacked again, leading into finally getting some profit. So we're playing the Garcia grind, which is a strategy that involves, at our level, a $300 don't pass with a hedge that it's like 50 on the 97 and 11 or 25 on the 11 to protect a don't pass. The protection's about half what it needs to save the don't pass. And then once you get a point set, you play 640 across with a $300 don't. So you're still half hedge against the number. So it's a half hybrid kind of thing. And I, again, rolled awful, brought it all the way down, but we fought back to profit. So pretty typical of a right side play where you need a good shooter. Now this one here, I actually kind of was a good shooter. If you think about the reasons why it lost today, which is interesting. We lost about $1,500 early. It lost on the come out 7, which normally a right side player is winning on. It lost when I hit the point, of course, because we have a don't pass bet. So again, right side bettors today would have made good money without that don't pass. The don't pass today is what hurt it. Normally the don't pass is a good stabilizer, right? Today, and actually Monday, the don't pass was the reason why that thing lost, which is interesting. So we're gonna do some more stuff today. Before I do, I want to address this from Darksider. He said, I played my own version of the storm. So I played the original version of the storm, which was an unprotected don't, and then some odds. And again, the reason for this is this. I'm trying to, I don't want to get into the discussions of hedging the hedges to hedge the hedge kind of thing, right? Like we've been trying that for so long here. I'm trying to get as clean as I can. I talked to Greg actually for a while last night. Greg and I played a little bit over Zoom last night. And we were talking about not the storm so much, but a drawdown sort of strategy or a drawdown way of playing. And today I'm gonna play a version of the storm not even the storm, it's gonna be more of the wedge versus the squeeze plays. I think that those two strategies are they're very similar in some respects. And I want you to look at a comparison between them and see what we're giving up by choice or by design with the two. So we'll get to that in a minute. But before we do, I want to do this. I want to actually run some numbers with you all because I think it's important. I know you've seen these before, and I have to call this out again because if I didn't do it, I'd be remiss. And I'm not showing you these numbers as a way of bragging on how great of a shooter I am. Quite the opposite. But this is the 3,200 rolls. Now it's 3,250 that I've thrown. And I'm logging the morning show throws, by the way, as I do this, right? I'm logging everything. So this is the results of all my throwing since I started the whole process of trying the chopper toss and logging every roll. Here's the important piece. It's not so much these, although these are interesting, right? Look at this. I'm actually below a full percentage point below what we should be on the come out 7s. And I'm way up on the come out horns. And you can attest to that. You see me out there in the garage every day throwing those 3s on the come out. My come out sequence is interesting, isn't it? I can actually make some choices on the come out here. And the face control thing is what is. The main thing to show you is this. And I think this is really, really, hopefully interesting to you. If you look at, I'm going to zoom way in here to the important bits. The roll expectation thing, the actual pyramid that we play through. I want you to take a look at where we are in the pyramid because I'm not yet a controlled shooter, although I'm trying. But I'm throwing more 2s than I should. Not by much. More 3s than I should. By a fair bit, actually, right? I'm throwing more 4s than I should. More 5s than I should. More 6s than I should. Less 7s than I should. Not by a lot, but by about 30 or so. I'm throwing, on the other side, less 12s, which is good. Less 11s, which is good. Just about the right amount of 10s by 1. Just about the right amount of 9s by 1. My 8s are low. In the pyramid, I'm actually doing better than you'd think than a random shooter would do. 3,000 rolls is no small number. And I'm beating everything except for the 8, believe it or not, as far as better than expected. That's great. However, let's take a look at what's actually important here. And here's, I think, where the rubber kind of hits the road to some degree. These two charts that I got down here summarize everything. Now, pay attention because this is important stuff, okay? The hand length versus the box hits per roll. This is going to be the number of rolls in total on the right, okay? If it says 1, that means 0.7 out. That means I rolled one number and then 7'd out immediately. Right? It's 11%, okay? That's actually lower than it ought to be, right? That you expect that to be a little bit higher than that. But look at this, right? 10, 10 and 11, that's 33, 34, 35%-ish of the time. Only 3 total rolls from the shooter, including horn numbers, right? And I'm good. I'm a pretty good shooter. That's not great, right? If you look at the things you're looking to make money on, like when we talk about the first 2 rolls, and that's why like the storm and the wedge and these kind of strategies, let's get 2 hits and get ourselves out of the hand, right? The squeeze play, which I love, 2 hits it out of the hand. Look at this, please. If you look at the average shooter, and this is above average shooter for me, 21% of the time I get 0 box hits. That's point, horn number, and I'm out. Or a point right away out. Point, 2 horn numbers, and I'm out. Right? About 22%, nothing in the box. Another 14%, only 1 box hit. So look at the total at 35, about 36% of the time, over a third of the time, we don't get our 2 hits, even on a decent shooter like me. And again, I'm a full percentage point above where I should be on almost everything, a little higher in some places. 34% of the time, we don't get even 2 hits in the box. So when we make these strategies, and I say the unicorn is a thing, right? That we're trying to chase. This is the reason why I'm calling it the unicorn, because you can't do it, right? And if you play the storm and you hedge, you lay the 4 and 10, or you lay the 4 and you have a big old don't, and then don't comes out and you get some across numbers and you get nothing out of it, right? You're going to live in here most of the time. That's a huge place to be. Now, if you can get past that, the other side of that is you have a 68% or 66% chance of getting your 2 hits or more and playing a good game. Okay. But a third of the time, you're going to lose your money. Remember that. A third of the time, even on a good shooter, you're going to lose all your money. That's why it's a unicorn. That's an important thing to see. So now again, the other rolls are good. We're doing great everywhere else. I even had a 40 box hit roll, was a 60 something roller that time, right? We're doing good, better than we should, but damn, man, that's bad, right? So when I tell you, I'll go back to the screen here. When I tell people, and I say this oh, what happened there? That's the wrong freaking camera. Sorry guys, wrong camera. That's that goofy laggy one. There we go. When I tell people, and I say it all the time, you got a 20-something% chance of getting nothing in the box. They think I'm saying PSO. It's not really a PSO. It's a point and no hits. Point and 0 hits before you're out. That's 22%. You just saw it. And on my random shooting, when I do like the morning rollouts, the other 3,000 rolls, it's worse. That's 23%. Greg says in chat, that's why he's a dark side player. This is the truth of craps. That the first 2 rolls are, if you can survive 2 rolls, you're going to be pretty much okay. But you got to survive 2 rolls, and it's so damn hard to survive just 2 rolls. It's really, really hard. I want to go to the table with you, and I want to roll some things out. Oh, of course, the camera's off. Let's look at a couple more options. Yesterday, we looked at a few things. Today, again, I want to do a couple of I want to show you what Greg and I worked on yesterday, actually. We were working hard last night on a couple of options here. And again, you got to work backwards. Sorry for the dice being out here. This is actually, I was filming a video last night on tier pressure. Let's get this out of the way. But I will use the rack today to sort of differentiate the 2 players' money. Sorry, I should have been more prepared here and have my chips ready to go. Let's set up 2 guys. Okay, we're going to set up a player in the front that's going to play at 160 across. Okay, I'm going to move. Hopefully you can see my offset chips there. And a player on the back side that's going to play at 110 inside. Okay, they're going to do very similar moves here, but I want you to really like lean in with me and take a look at the difference in risk that these 2 players are going to experience at different times, because risk and reward kind of is a moving target. And I think this is going to showcase what I mean by that. So give me a second here to get my payout chips lined up for us. Now, what we're trying to do is catch a point and then get our 2 hits. I'm going to roll the dice here. You won't see them. They'll be off camera because I want to zoom into the bets. This is more important, I think, to see than the dice for the point that I'm trying to make. Let's catch a point. Let me get some dice here. I'm going to roll, and we'll catch a point. The point's going to be a 9, a 5, 4, 9. And again, the point doesn't really matter here other than we have one, okay? The next thing we're going to try and do is get 2 hits. We say just get 2 hits. And how hard is that? Well, the first hit, as you know, it's a 20-something% chance we never get 1 hit, okay? And we're going to work backwards. I'm going to try and get these 2 players to both get to $64, okay? I'm going to work backwards to 64 across. This is where I want to be. I want to play an across bet. I want to play it for free. I want to not have to worry about life, okay? So we get a 9. Here we are. Here's what's going to happen. They're both going to put an additional $5 at risk, both players. I'll put their racks out here, okay? 5 in the rack. They're both going to play, maybe 10. We'll see how it works out. Both going to play some form of any craps, okay? Greg played it last night with a $3 C and a $2 E, okay? I was doing a horn high ace deuce. It doesn't really matter. It ends up being close to the same. Here, the $3 C wins 21 bucks minus a 2. It's a net of 19. The 11 wins 30 minus 3, 27. On the horn high ace deuce or the horn high yo, either way, it doesn't matter. You're going to win 30 on the aces in the 12 minus 3, 27 bucks. On the ace deuce in this case, I would also win 30 minus 2 or minus 3, 27 bucks, and the 11 is the one that kind of sucks. It doesn't matter either way. We can put them both here just for ease of viewing. So now what you have in both players' minds, right? This player in the front has got everything covered except for the 7. He's got 160 across. He's got all the horn numbers covered. He's good to go. He's giving up 6 combinations, the 7. And he's got extra risk. He's got $50 more in risk than the player in the back does, okay? Looking for 2 hits to get him out of the game. The player in the back has taken a different approach to it. It's the same idea, okay? He's got $50 less in risk, but he's given up 12 combinations, okay? Here, we don't get the 4 or the 10 or the 7 to win for us. So we're giving up 12 combinations, but we have $50, excuse me, less in risk. So the 22% of the time that we get our asses kicked, this guy gets a little bit less of a beating than this guy does. So he's willing to take a punch to the face, but not a kick to the balls, if that makes sense to you. So a little bit less risk, a little more coverage up in here. Typically, you know me, I'm the person that wants no wasted rolls. And in a case where we're looking for to get 2 hits and get out, this might be the better move up here, right? But there is the extra little bit on that 7 that's gonna bum us out, okay? What Greg does here in the front, in storm fashion, the first hit, the 4 and 10 come back down. So on hit number 2, we have the same risk, okay? It's only for the one roll that the $50 is at risk. And that's, I think, important to see. So as we're rolling this out here, keep in mind the different risk levels that we've got and the rhythm that each player is going to experience. So here we are. We're out here for 165. I'm out here for 110, 115. Okay, so again, $50 in differing risk. Let me roll the dice and see what happens. There's a 9. Okay, so here, again, this is a good case, right? If we were playing the storm, right, you're going to be hedged. You're not having a problem here. If you're playing the Garcia grind, you just lost half your money on the don't from buckshot in the point. But what's going to actually happen is we're going to lose. Each player is going to lose. I'm put their thing out there. They're going to lose the $5 from the outside bets, but they're both going to win $35. Okay, on that 9, getting hit. For both players, 5 of those dollars can go right back out here to play the hedge, and both players can bring back $30. Now, I'll do it like this so you can see it better. Okay, there's both players' money. We'll put their profits over here, whatever. The storm comes down, Okay, and again, once he has the 160 in his rack, he's basically out free and clear. He's already got part of it done. This guy here, what he would do in this case, squeeze play style, is take that 30 bucks, and now he's gonna go out to the 4 and 10 for 15 each. We're gonna squeeze play him, and now he's got the same 110 at risk that he started with. He's got more coverage coming up. This guy's got 110 and less coverage, but he's also brought money back. See how interesting that is, right? The rhythm of those two. Now we have the puck off. These bets are off. They're out there as placeholders. Let's get another point. Oh, look at that. Back to the 9. Okay, now both players need one hit to get out. This player has to have an inside hit. This player here now has better coverage. On the roll 2, more coverage. Roll 2, less coverage. Way less risk. He went out there at 160, 165. He's already got 80 bucks back, right? His risk is actually half. It's interesting, right? Reduce that risk as you go down. There's the 527. So both players will lose. How much do they lose? Well, this guy back here, me, loses everything. It all goes bye-bye. I lost the full 110. In fact, what I'm going to do to note this is we're going to put $110 on this side of the rack. This will be our loss pile, okay? Over here, he's gonna lose again 110 in the front, but he had collected 80 bucks. So when he goes back out for 160, 165 actually, 165, 80 of that was covered by what he pulled back. So this drawdown that the storm or the wedge does actually kind of reduces that risk as we go. So the 7 on roll 2 sucks, doesn't totally suck. So I'm gonna move this. We're gonna go back out. I'll do it from the bank just so we can see it easily. Here's the 160, here's the 110. Okay, both players have 5 bucks. Now, right here at 110, there's the, actually, I'll put 115. That's what he actually lost 115. This guy here is out for 165. He had 180 before. So he's technically speaking, he's out 85 bucks. So he lost, but he lost half because he brought money back. Let's go play it out again. New point. And we'll work these 2 racks as we go here. And when I get a point and we get our 2 hits, I'm just going to reset the board. You'll see what I mean. Point of 8. Now these bets are on. Again, looking for 2 hits. Remember the statistics, how hard they are to get. Same as last time. Look at that. We hit the 8 right away. Both players will lose their craps bets. Both players will win 35 bucks. Come on. 35 and 35. Player in the front is going to take 5 bucks, drop it on the any craps for next time, okay? And bring 30 bucks back into his rack. This player here is going to take 5 bucks for the craps bets and take 30 bucks and pick up the 4 and 10. So again, a spread versus a collapse. Spreading out here, collapsing here. These 4 and 10 come back in the rack, and look at his rack. Right now, he's almost made up the previous loss. We'll do a little rack check here. I'll fix those racks up in a second and get them back to even. Here we go. Let's get a new point because that was the 8 being hit. New point's going to be 5. Now these bets are on. There's a 3-2-5. All right. Again, both players need one more hit. This guy needs a hit anywhere. This guy needs an inside hit. They're both back on the horns. And again, here we've picked up targets. Here we've lost. This guy here has now lost 2 targets. He's got 12 ways not to win. 9. All right, both players do it. That's fantastic. Check it out. 9 pays 35 bucks for both dudes. 35 there, 35 here. We lose this. And watch what happens. This is really kind of cool. So here, if we take that 35 bucks, here's his 110. If I take out the 50 bucks from the rack, there's 75, 100, 50, there's 160. Okay, there is 50, 60 bucks, 65 bucks. So he actually recovered his 160 spread, and he's got 65 bucks to play with. Guess what he can do? 64 across, okay? I'll leave it out there just so we can see that he's got the 64 across kind of paid for. The player in the back has the same situation, right? He did well too. He can go back, and here's his initial 110. Back in his rack. He's got 25, 35. Those reds make a green. He's got 50, 65 bucks to play with. Both players had their 64 across, okay? Both players got out of the hand in 2 rolls. The player in the front, though, had the reduced risk, right? His risk went down to half as he did it. Okay, they both have this weird loss from before, right? So if you look at this recovery kind of covers what he lost the first time, and here the same thing. So there it is. There's the look at it. What I'm gonna do is roll this out. I want the dice to kind of decide when we're done here. I'll get either a point. That was a 5-1-6, by the way. Point hit, or the 7 comes. There's a 9. We'll keep running it out, but again, I want the natural order of dice to sort of decide when we restart this thing. There's a 6, 4, 10. Here comes this super hot roll, right? There's a 9, or another 10 rather. My glasses aren't on. 2 10s in a row, Waylon. 3. Wow. 5. There's the point. Okay, the point gets hit. Puck goes off. Let's reset the board and do another come out sequence. Okay. I'm going to take their $64 in wins back to the house here. Okay. And again, I'm not too concerned about this part just yet. So I want to get us just basically reset and let you watch the rhythm of the come out here and make a decision on what you think is one that you would rather put yourself in. Okay, it's interesting. What I like about the player in the front, I'll give you my overall thoughts. I need $5 from each guy. My overall thoughts here, player in the front, is that you're taking more risk, which I don't like taking more risk if I don't have to, right? I'd rather not have the extra $50 in risk. However, that risk does go away, right? It gets mitigated and cut in half almost immediately, and he's got everything covered, right? So sure, 0.7 out's gonna suck for everybody. He has the entire felt covered. This guy here has less coverage, but also less risk. I like that. I like that on roll 2, he expands out and has that full coverage on the second roll where you're kind of sweating it, right? You need that full coverage. However, he's gonna be at extra risk. He's got $30 in extra risk out here for roll 2. Let's come out, let's catch a new point. Midnight, we'll do the rhythm again. Another midnight. Boy, look at that. Back to back. Back to back. Yo, midnight, yo. What is going on here with these dice? 5. All right, back to the 5. Now, everything's on. Here we go. Again, full coverage. Only the 7 beats him here. This guy here has partial coverage. He's missing the 4 and 10 on the first roll. But again, $50 less in risk. We catch an 8, which is awesome. We're going to lose these 2. The first player is going to, again, here's the magic, right? He takes 35 in profit, pulls the 4 and 10. He's got 85 in the rack. He had 165 out there total risk. He's going to have to put a nickel back out there. $80 in the rack, 110 out here in action. His overall total risk now is this 110, right? He had, really, it's minus $30. He has $130 at risk. This player here is still at full risk. He's going to get paid $35 rather. His risk doesn't go down at all. Matter of fact, what he does is he keeps the same risk on purpose and picks up 2 extra numbers. So his now got more coverage than him. Still has the 110 in risk. This guy here is total risk. Again, 165. He's got 80 in the rack. His total risk is $85. So he has less risk on roll 2 than this guy does, but also less coverage. So the coverage map, the T-Mobile coverage map flipped on these 2 guys. And there's a 4, which is interesting because they're both going to lose these over here. But this guy's going to win $27 in the back. And because he had extra coverage on roll 2, he can be done. We're going to take his 110 down back to his rack. And what he's got to play with here is 25, not quite 65 bucks. He's got, I'll make that look like a green chip. He's got $57, okay? So he could do like a 54 across, maybe not catch the point, or maybe not catch the 4, but he's able to go and start playing. This dude here still needs another hit. He has to actually pull $5 out of his rack and take another hit to get to be able to play for free. He has to incur an extra roll of risk, which is interesting. Sometimes I do this and he has the advantage of that, but here's a 6. Now he can do it. There's his $35, take the 5 away, and now he can go back. There's his 160, and there's his $60 in profit. So again, he's able to play for free finally, but it took him an extra hit to get there. That's interesting. Let's go back out. Let's put the 110 back out. And I'm going to turn all the bets off. I'm going to take this profit play back. Let these things run out again. Again, I do this all the time. I know this can be a little boring, but you've got to see the bet sequences in trials. You got to run these things 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times more. You talk to Charlie DGE, you got to run 100 hours of trials to watch a strategy succeed or fail on its own merit. A couple of times here and there doesn't make a difference. And in fact, if these rolls, like I'm doing here, we're getting good roll. The last shooter had 4 or 5 hits after the roll. These good rolls don't matter, right? This is just telling you that if you played 64 across after this, you're making money. We can talk about that later, how you make money. The important thing is getting to the point where you can play the 64 across risk-free. Okay, now the puck's off. We're gonna go back out. We'll catch a new point and we'll do the sequence again. 5, 3, 8. Point don't matter. Again, here, we're not playing the storm where we have a don't. We're not playing any kind of hedge. We're just gonna go and roll it out there. See if we can beat that 2-hit nightmare. Okay, here we go. Both players are out. 165 at risk, 115 at risk. First roll, let's get it. 5, okay. Where you find, that rolled on me. Sorry, that's 3, 2, 5. Where you find that these things separate, here's 2 places, right? One is gonna be, it's always the 4 and 10, by the way. If this player starts out, if we had a 4 as that roll, matter of fact, let me force a 4. I want you to see what happens. If it's a 4, look at what happens here. We lose our 10, obviously. He's gonna get paid $50 on the 4 and pull the 4 and 10 down. Now he's got $100 in the rack. His 110, we can take a 25, of course, and make it look like a quarter and get his C&E. Look where he's at. He's got 75, he's got $95 in his rack. He was out there for 160. He's only at $50 at risk. This guy hadn't got a hit yet, right? He missed the 4. He has to wait. This guy's a full roll ahead and he's got half the risk, right? So when the 4 or 10 come in that earlier roll, you see a separation of this guy's a full roll ahead. He's basically done. He hadn't even started yet. Okay, let's pretend that was a 4. I want to roll it out as though it was a 4, just so you can see what I mean by that. So he has to, this guy here needs another $5 from his rack. Now he's out there for 110. He lost 5. Another 5 goes out. He's out there for 120. Now, not just 110. And there's the 9. So the sequence will be this. Both players lose in here. This player gets $35 on the 9. And it's done. Matter of fact, I'll show you what it looks like. There's the 110, there's the 160, and there's the $5 that he spent on the first craps check, and he's done. Put all this back in his rack. 150, 165. He's done. 2 rolls in, he's out because he got the 4 early, okay? And he's got 25, 50, 60, $75 to play with. Look at that. He's got $75 to play with. He's already done. This player here just got their first hit. $35. He goes back out here. Now he has to fight again that damn 7. So here, if the 4 comes first, now he's got to still fighting the risk. If we would have caught a 7 there, that would have been interesting. This guy here would have been playing for nothing. This guy would have lost everything. So the one roll difference is a big deal. There's the 9, and we're out of the hand again. So again, 35 bucks, and we're out. There's the 110. Leave it out there, and that's what he's playing with 30, 50, 65 bucks. So both players survived twice, which is cool. Let's try it again. And I'm gonna roll the dice until I see a 7, or until we're done here, and then we'll reset the process. Trial, trial, trial. You gotta see the trials in real time for it to make sense. All right, here we go. Puck is still on, the 8. Let's roll to a 7. There, oh, good. 7 right away. Now, bets were off, by the way. Let's catch a new point. Back to the 8, sweet. So, same point. Out we go with the craps bets. Immediate 7. That rolled on me. That was a 5, 2, 7. Can I make it? There we go. That was a 7. So here's the opposite, right? Lose 165, lose 110. So there's an advantage to this player on the super ugly 0.7 out roll. That lower risk basically covers one full win, right? He wins 60 to 75 bucks when it works. When it doesn't work, he gives a full one of those away to this player. All right, let's do it again. Count that as a loss. Puck's off. 6. All right, let's get past it this time. Everything's on. 5. So I don't need to count the hits. We know what's going to happen here. 5's going to come in. We're going to take. I'm just going to move these bets inside for you here. Okay, take the 4 and 10. He wins 35 bucks. He loses this, puts it back. 80 bucks. Up here, same deal. We're gonna get paid 35 bucks. So 30 goes to the 4 and 10. 5 bucks replaces the loss. He's still at the 110. Full risk, half risk. There's the 7. So this is a good example again, right? This guy here loses 115, but he had 80. Right? So out of his 165 that he started with, he's got 80 of it back, only lost half his money. By doing the drawdown, he loses half. The other player never draws down until the second hit, burns for 115, okay? Which is a huge, huge bummer. All right. We'll do one more trial run just to see it, and then we'll sit down and talk about it. I think we're probably right about the right number, right? We've had one time, let's see, we've had, I think, 3 times where both players have made it. One time where we had the PSO and nobody got nothing. And one time where we had 1 hit and then a 7, which pretty much matches the numbers on the charts that I showed you. It's about 20% or so we've gotten the 0 hits, and about 10% or 15% we've gotten 1 hit. So that's actually matching the chart that you'd expect. There's a 9 for the new point. All right, let's get our 2 hits. Nope, there's the 7. Actually, that's perfect. That rolled PSO. That's twice now we've had the PSO, 0 hits. Once where we've had only 1 hit, 3 or 4 times where we got it all to work. Let's reset it one more time. I should have wrote this down, actually, what we did here, because that's actually interesting that it matches exactly the chart that I showed you. There's a point of 6. Can we get it? Can we get it? Well, we got a yo. That's good, right? That pays over here. This is the reason why we've been giving away $5 every single roll, finally hitting one, right? So for both players, that pays 19 bucks. We'll just give them 20 as a net. Or no, I'm sorry, it pays 27 bucks. So 25, 27, 25, 27 bucks. That's actually 1 hit. And there's the 5. So that both players get it. Both players will get 35 bucks. And we're off 35 plus 27 is whatever that is. It's 56 bucks or whatever. Now they're playing. So that time we did it with the horn number. Cool. This actually covers, by the way, one of those where it's, 2 hits, but one of them's not a box number. It covers that case for us. That's actually good to see that's a reality. It's a possibility. One more time. That was a quick one. We'll do one more. Again, I'm going to roll to a 7. We're on a point of 5 or point of 6. We're going to roll to a 7. And I'll do another new come out sequence. There's a 10. Bets are out here just for placeholders. They're all turned off. 11. There's a 9. There's a 10. Another good roll. And again, if you pull off the 2 hits, you're playing 64 across, and you're just making money. Hopefully you're making good money here on the roll. That's the goal of the system like this, right? Is to get a couple hits to set you up to play what you want to play later on. There's another. Wow, look at the horn numbers here. I don't think we've collected once in the box. It's all horn numbers. Look, another one. Golly. How about a box number, dude? There's an 8, finally. Jeez. Come on, shooter. Where's my 7? I want to restart the process here. There's a 9. That was a 9, not a 7. It rolled. Another 8. There she is. There's old Karen, number 7. Puck is off. We'll do this whole thing once more, then we'll come back and we'll talk. We'll talk through it. There's a come out 7, which we don't have to worry about. Again, if you're playing the Storm, that's a worry. Not just the Storm, any don't strategy, you're worried about that. All right, here we go. Nice clean win, 5-3-8. There's our point. Give me 2 shots for these guys. Let's get 2 shots. There's a hard 4. Okay, good. Good. They'll both lose in here. This player gets nothing for his efforts. This player here gets $50, and the 4 and 10 both come down. He brings $100 back to his rack, has the inside numbers, probably takes the quarter and breaks it down to play the any craps again. Okay, this player here has to dig into his rack for 5 more bucks. Now he's out for 120. This player here has got $75, $95 back in his rack. He's got less than half of his initial spread at risk. Okay, this guy here never hit the 4 or 10, so he can't even spread out. He still needs 2 hits. He's got to fight the 7 for at least another one. Look at that, another 10. Another outside hit. It's a swing and a miss. He can come out of his profits. This guy here is digging into his rack. Now he's out for 125 in risk. And there comes Karen. So he burned all of it that time. Look at that. That's a shooter that sets a point, has 2 box hits, which is what we think the magic number is, but he wasn't playing them. He missed out completely on that. Totally swing and miss out here. Burns 120 in the process. This guy here in the front, who had the initial 4 and 10 coverage, got the first hit, which helps, right? He has $90 in his rack, which means he's only down, technically speaking, $70. It's not good to go down $70, but it happens, right? And there's your rhythm. There's craps in a 15-minute nutshell for you. Let's go back over here. Let's look at the screen again. We landed here almost exactly what I said was going to happen, right? We had no box hits, right? The 0.7 out happened twice out of all those. We probably had about 10 shooters or so. Right? Happened twice. About 20% was what you expect, right? A couple of times we had the 1 box hit. Just now we had the 4 hit and nothing else happened, right? These percentages just kind of played out in front of you. And, you know, we did burn about a third of the time. The other times when you get to here and you get your second hit, all bets are, you're good. You're playing for free and you're fine. But that's a real thing. We have to think about that. You got to think about the real thing. Oh, I did it again. Hit the wrong. I got to fix that camera. It's a cool camera, but man, so laggy. Anyway, as you're making your, I'm going through chat here. As you're making your strategies, think through those things. Okay. We talk about the unicorn come out, and we've been doing this either the squeeze play like I do in the backside, right? The inside out, or the drawdown. I think the 2 best ways to attack the first 2 rolls are those. Either squeeze play out. You're missing the 4 and 10, however, and you saw that bite us, or go across and draw down. Either way, either the wedge drawing down or the squeeze play spreading out, 2 hits to glory. However, 35% of the time, you're going to lose all your money. So remember that. You're going to lose all your money. Yeah, you're going to 44. And again, Greg, it doesn't matter what we do after the 2 hits, right? When the second hit happens, I don't really even care. It's can you get 2 hits, right? And you go from 160 to 110, right? After that second hit, it doesn't matter what you play. 44 inside, 64 across, I don't care. This is all about working the 2 hits. Can I get 2 hits? And I think drawing down from 160 across cuts your risk in half on the first roll, which is great, although you give up the 4 and 10 on that second roll. The other player has less risk out front, gives up the 4 and 10 on the first roll, picks them up on the second roll, right? So you're going to both have partial coverage. You're going to both have full coverage. It's a matter of on which roll you have the coverage. Greg, with the full spread drawdown, has the coverage early. The second one has the coverage late. And you got to remember that, like, less risk up front. Also, there's risk in not having numbers covered. And that's what the player in the back showed us today. There's risk in not having numbers covered. There's risk because it takes an extra hit to get there. The risk that you incur by getting full across is more in money, but it reduces your time. And I think we all can agree time in this game is the killer. So let me take a look here at some questions. I have some time today, actually, for some questions. Let's look at the PCs. Let me get here. Yes, Jen, I used my racks today. See, I used the rack. Now, is that better? Jen wrote me a text yesterday and said, I couldn't follow you at all because you didn't have racks. So today I did racks. I didn't keep the racks rolling, though. We didn't do like a rolling bankroll today. I just kind of reset every time. This is about showing you how many times it works, not how much money they make. It's all about, oh, there you go. Much easier. Good job. Thank you, Jen. It's all about how many times can I get the job done, right? How many times can I get my 2 and get out? That's what I want to see. So let's see. Let's see. Vince, Black Sheep. Vince rolled out my hyperpress regress, and you need to see it for myself. It's in Discord. Okay, I'll check it out. So your hyperpress regress, if I'm not mistaken, it's a multi-tier drawdown, right? You're going to start higher. First hit, you draw the hole across down. The second hit, you draw the hole across down again, and then you start hyperpressing. Is that kind of what it is? I think we talked about this before. I will watch the video and see how it looks. I think that double drawdown's cool. It's just, again, you got to go out at the high enough level to make it make sense. So I'll check that out later on today. I like that idea. I like the drawdown. I really do. I like drawing it down. I like going out you can go out at 160, right? And then on your first hit, make everything look like 20. So 20, 40, 60, 80, and then 20 from the 6 and 8 and go down to, like, what is it, 128 across? That's cool. Go back down again, and you're at 96 across, right? On that second hit, you're actually playing 96 for almost free. I'll check it out, though. The hyperpress regress is now becoming a thing. It's official. He's saying it's official. That's cool. I'll check it out, Nemo. I'll watch the video and I'll get it. I'll get it committed here, and we'll roll it out. So cool. Questions we have? Any other questions? Let's see. Darksider. Yeah, we addressed already. I know I didn't play the Storm the full way. Again, I wanted to just really show. It's less about the come out piece. The Storm is more about, to me, the magic of it, I guess. Does the DP protect the across bets? And do you need that? Right? How often do you need the DP to protect the across bets for 2 rolls? Like today, we're looking at getting 2 hits. And sure, the first 2 times I hit the point, which would have crushed the DP. Most of the times you don't buckshot it that quick. And I think the DP gets in the way. If you're looking at a 2-hit and play strategy, the DP gets in the way. I'd rather get rid of it for those 2 hits. I think keeping those 2 hits clean makes sense. If I'm going to play it like I did this morning with Jaime's strategy, the DP makes more sense to stay in there long term. So anyway, I think it's all good stuff. I'm going to keep whacking at it, right? Every day we're going to keep on whacking on this thing and get what we think as a group is the simplest way. A, simple. B, effective. C, safe. And C, reliable. That's what I want to get. I want to get to some level of that. Reliability to me means knowing we're going to lose this. We're going to lose 21% of the time, get nothing. The 14% of the time that we get the 1 hit, the full spread has the advantage. These are half losses, not full losses. So I want to embrace what's here. How do I make this 34, 35% not suck as bad as it could, right? And I think that's what I want to get to, is making that suck less. So there it is. There it is. The inside player can do a short-term lay for sure. The inside player can also hop. I haven't even looked at that yet, right? You can actually hop the easy 4 and 10. You can actually put the 4 and 10 out there as hard ways for $5 each to win $35, which pays what the table pays, right? And you can hop the easies for $2 each and win $30 in there. So for $4, $8 total, you can get the 4 and 10 covered and not have the full risk. So there's things to look at for the inside player that can keep the risk down but still get the full coverage that we want. So I think it's interesting to take a look at. There you go. Oh, cool. 555 is going to play with Jeff later. That's awesome. What time is that going to be? Can you put it in chat, Greg? What time is that going live? That'll be fun to see. And JR says, what I agree with, power pressing, suboptimal. It's fun, but it's too often a fail, for sure. I 100% agree with you. I filmed the video yesterday, by the way. I'll put this out this week on maybe next week. I filmed the video on the tier pressure strategy. How do you play the tier pressure the right way? And one of the points I make in that video is that power pressing, although fun, you get fear of missing out on that one too, right? You get the FOMO on that one, because if you press like a maniac and you don't collect, you might have 3K out there in bets, and maybe you bring back $1,000 on an 18 roller. The tier pressure has you also huge pressing, but you're collecting regularly. That same roll, you're bringing back 3,000 to your rack and having a bet out there. So there it is. I think that it's, I think power pressing is a danger. Hyper pressing is fun. It works great on tournament play. I'm not sure I would do that with actual cash though. So there it is. Whereas the base play-ins, I'm not going to base play and sing today. I totally lied, but I did talk to Greg about this yesterday. Again, Greg and I had a nice talk yesterday. And what we're going to do is, I'm not sure when we're going to do it. I got to get the donation page back set, but I think we might do some kind of a thing, like a craps and karaoke night kind of a deal, where we'll do craps chatty kind of a setup. We'll have Zoom going. I'll bring the bass out. Jeff can have his guitar going. You can't sing and play bass. It's kind of a dumb thing, but we can do like a karaoke where we can like take some donations and have all of us that are on Zoom, and anybody can join, do some karaoke. Wouldn't that be fun? It'd be kind of cool to do that. And then we can, like, for $10, make John sing, do you remember? Something like that. We'll do some fun shit like that. What I mean by that, Obey, is like playing a bass line and singing by itself, that you would never recognize the songs, because a good bass line doesn't match the song, so you never know. And that's not an Explorer. I'll show you. I can show them to you though, David. You can see what I got. There's two of them. Ugh. Give me a second here. This bass is the one that I just won. Hope it doesn't fall. Yikes. Let's see. This bass here, the Traben, is the one that I got at the pawn shop here. I found this at a pawn shop up in Everett, Washington, and I'm like, that's awesome. I went to the casino and I played a little bit and I won enough money to go buy this bass at the pawn shop. This is a weird one because it's got this nice chrome inlay down by the pickups, which you just don't see very often. I had the whole thing refinished with black hardware. Black, of course, me, right? Black strings, black hardware. This thing is awesome. I love this bass. It's a cool looking bass. That is a good daily driver. It's got a good solid neck to it. The other one that David said was the Explorer is not actually an Explorer. This is a Hamer bass. So it's Explorer shape Hamer bass. This was white. When I first bought this bass, this thing was white pearl. I sanded the whole thing down and I refinished it. This is the actual wood that was beneath all that. Sanded it, finished it. It's awesome. I brought it to work at my old job. And this thing, by the way, weighs a country ton. This bass is solid freaking wood. This thing weighs a ton. And it's got a super long neck. It's a challenge to play this one live. This bass, however, you can't see it. Maybe you can. Can you see the back of the neck there? Can you see this? Let's see, the crack is right here. If you can see the crack, it's kind of hard to see. somebody ran into my desk and knocked the bass flying, and it hit the ground and it snapped the headstock off and it cracked the neck. So this bass here will never hold it. It can't stay in tune. The truss rod will break the neck if I tighten it. So this thing here, you can't see it, but it's bowed. So it's unplayable. Like I can get something on it, but it goes out of tune like within 5 minutes of being played. It's cool looking. I love it. I played this bass for years and years when I was in my band here in Seattle when I was younger. This was my daily bass. I played this thing. I beat the living shit out of this bass, by the way. This is awesome. One of my favorite pieces of equipment in my whole life is this bass. I met my wife playing in the band when I had this bass. So anyway, it's good stuff, but it won't hold a tune. So anyway, there it is. There's my musical tour for you this morning. At some point, yeah, this bass is such a badass bass. I love it. Hey, if you're interested in hearing some John songs, you know what I should do? Here, I'm not going to sing today, but I'll embarrass myself a different way. And I've shown this before. I'll show you again. In case you're interested, let me go here. Let me go to, let's see. There. I think that's the link. Isn't it that? I thought it was this. miskol.bandcamp.com. I thought that's where the thing was. There it is. All right, I'll give you this. Y'all can do this. Boom. If you're interested, here's the band that I played in the 90s. This, yes, is my picture from back then. That's me. The good-looking dude on the left-hand side is me. With hair. I used to have hair, actually. And here's the 5 songs from our self-released EP that we were working as cooks and dishwashers back then. And every dime that we had went into recording this stuff. That cost us $5,000 to record these songs back in the 90s. That was like literally every dime we had. We worked for months to save up the money to do this. In fact, this recording took us 6 months to do because we were paying it in $500 at a time to go in there and like play part of a song, you know, and then like the drum parts got laid down like in November, and then I went in and laid the bass tracks down like in February. It took us forever to get this thing recorded, so I'm so proud of this. It's good stuff. You'll recognize some of the songs. I play some of these songs on our intros and outros here. So there you go. You will, OBC, you'll like this. Nobody else probably will. This is pretty thrashy stuff from the 90s. But anyway, there it is. There's I can't sing those songs for you. I wasn't a singer, but I did write all the words. All the words are mine. So, hey, there, JR, I'd love to go Alembic. I will. Someday I'm going to go to the craps table and win $2,000 and just say, I don't need that money. I'm going to go buy me a bass. And I'll buy me a nice Alembic. Actually, the Alembic Explorer bass that John Entwistle used to play, that's always been my dream bass. Always been my dream. The Alembic Explorer is the one, but the Alembic, you know, the Flame, that's so awesome. Anyway, can I go to work now? It's 9 o'clock. You guys are awesome. Bonus coverage on a Wednesday. Get to see John's basses and John's stupid hair from when he was young. That's it. Tomorrow, we're going to run the same stuff. We're going to run the across and the inside. I'm going to add the hops into the inside. We're going to do some more work with the across bets and see different drawdown types. I may actually go a little higher and do like a Nemo thing and come higher and draw down twice the full across and see if that works a little better. So let's try it and see what happens. Again, I want to solve the first 2 rolls, but I want to attack the first 2 rolls in the best possible way. That's the goal. So that said, I'm out of here, guys. It's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Get ready for Christmas. I got some shopping to do. Pray that the roads melt a little bit so I can get out to the stores. And yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a good one. Later, bye. Let's go here.